air brake test. Obviously here, most of our buses, we have the dips where we don't have to chalk our buses. So if you're uncertain, always make sure that your bus is chalked first. I want to make sure that I check my governor to make sure it works properly. So I'm going to pump my service brake down to about 90 psi. Then I'm going to sit and wait, make sure that my governor is kicking in and turning on. I'm building air back into our tanks. It'll take about 45 seconds. I see my needles gradually moving. Stop moving, and the hissing sound indicates that my tanks are full, so my governor works properly. Now I'm going to turn off the bus, and then I'm going to turn it to the on condition without starting it. I'm going to wait for the needles to settle. I'm going to time myself for 1 minute. I'm going to make sure that my needles don't move more than 2 psi in that setting, starting now. Now on our everyday today basis, we want to make sure we wait for that 1 full minute. So I'm going to pretend that 1 minute has passed. I did not lose no more than 2 psi's, which is good. The next step is this parking brake right here. Next to our drive shaft, we're going to push that in and release it. We will roll a tad bit. Let the needle stop before timing. Now it has stopped. I'm going to time myself for another minute without touching anything else. Making sure, again, I do not lose no more than 2 psi's. All of these steps are on our DVIR sheet. You can see here, we have one for PB on and PB off. PB indicating parking brake. Again, on our everyday today basis, we're going to wait the 1 full minute. There's no shortcuts on these. I didn't lose no more than 2 psi's. The next step is the applied pressure loss test. Right here. Applied pressure loss. Now we're going to hold down our service brake. The needle will drop about 2 or 3 pounds. I'll time myself for 1 minute, starting now, making sure that I don't lose no more than 3 psi's in this minute. Just for the video, again, I waited 1 whole minute. I didn't lose no more than 3 psi's. Now the next step is I'm going to pump my service brake down between 40 and 60. My light and my buzzer should turn on, and between 20 and 40, my parking brake should pop out. And I'll make note of that. 60, my light and buzzer came on. 35, my parking brake engaged. Now I can start my bus right back up. Always make sure that our headlights and our strobe lights are on. And at this point, while I'm waiting for the gauges to fill up and my air tank, I fill out my DVIR. We want to make sure we fill this out properly. buses don't have seat belts on it. We don't drive a flat nose, so we don't have a slide emergency door. This particular bus is in an SE bus, so we don't have a wheelchair. And we don't have hydraulic brakes. My cut-in pressure was 90. My cut-out pressure was 120. I had no pressure loss with my parking brake on. No pressure loss from my parking brake off. No pressure loss from my applied pressure. My low pressure warning light and buzzer came on at 60. And my auto pop-out brake came on at 35. Make sure your dashboard is always clear of obstacles. Do not leave student items on top of your dashboard. That has to be cleared at all times, including driver window. You don't want to press the brakes and objects come flying to you or your children. The next step is my parking brake hose. My air tank has kicked out. My tank is filled with air. I'm going to put my bus in drive. And I'm going to rev my RPM. About 1200 RPM. 2 or 3 times. Making sure the bus doesn't move. That means that our parking brake holds our bus and it's safe. The next step is I'm going to drive 5 miles per hour 2 times. And I'm going to stop gradually, making sure that the bus doesn't drift left or right. By disengaging our parking brake, that all works and checks out. If you have any questions, you guys are more than welcome to see myself and the trainers in this process. Anytime you guys have questions or anything like that. Thank you.